Hello from Gadigal and Bedigaland. I'm Jane, and today we're joined by Andrew.
Hi, Jane.
Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. So today we're going to discuss the importance of exercise. But before we go into that, Andrew, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, so I've been in Sydney for about 6 years. I moved up here in 2016 for a new job opportunity at Quinn Emanuel, which is a US law firm. Before that, I was working and living in Melbourne. So my background is in law. Studied commerce law at Monash, and originally grew up on the Surf Coast in Victoria, which is about an hour and a half southwest of Melbourne.
Nice. And what made you decide that you wanted to pursue the MBA full time?
Yeah, it's been something that's been on my mind for a few years. So I guess with practicing law, I've some great experience, sort of 10 years at commercial law firms, but I felt I sort of wanted just to sort of boost my, I guess, skills and credentials in business and the commercial side. And I saw an MBA as a really good opportunity to do that. And I was tossing up, part-time, executive, full-time. But I guess at the end of the day, I wanted just to sort of get it done as quickly as possible, so I could return to the workforce, rather than letting it drag out for sort of 2 or 3 years, which would be, I think, speaking with several of my colleagues, partners at work, I think it would have been difficult to combine full-time work at my law firm plus part-time study. So I thought, rip the Band-Aid off and get stuck into it. And I think the experience from all reports is quite different as a full-time student compared to a part-time student. So I sort of wanted to get that sort of immersive, complete MBA experiences that is, a full-time program I think offers.
Sounds good. And you're still doing some of casual or contract work as well at the moment, right?
Yeah, so I stayed on as a contractor at Quinn Emanuel. Initially that was with the intention to see out one of my matters, which is a white-collar criminal matter that I've been working on. I guess because of, I've been sort of the main associate working on that, and I've also built up a rapport with the clients, and I wanted to see that matter out, and that's listed for sentencing in September. But in addition to that, I was also brought back into a matter that I was working on since I started the firm in 2016. To sort of take carriage of the settlement negotiations between our client and the other parties. And fortunately we were able to get that settlement across the line recently.
Great.
Which was a really good outcome for the client.
A lot of chips off your shoulder, I guess.
So last few weeks after that matter settled, my sort of workload on that front has quietened down, which has been good timing as studies increased. Okay, so you're a very busy man. You are doing the MBA full-time, you're still doing the work as well on the side, and you're married, so a lot of things to juggle up in the air. And yet you still have time to exercise. Try to. So, not as much time recently, but
I think you're one of the active people in the cohorts. Tell us, what do you do? What's your exercise regime?
Yeah, so I have, to be honest, I have lost the routine a little bit since starting the MBA. When I was sort of pre-MBA, just working in the city, I had probably a bit more of a set weekly routine with sort of going to the gym a few times a week, and I'm trying to get back into that. And I'll probably get back into that after sort of the next 2-3 weeks is done. But look, at the moment, I'm trying to run a bit. I've got the City to Surf coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Did a half marathon, started July up on the Gold Coast, which was good fun. And then, as you know, try and play tennis a bit. I play competition tennis on Sunday mornings.
That's still on as well? You still do
that's
that?
Still on. I've got finals coming up. And then, so Aussie rules has been sort of my main sport over the last decade. Took a couple of years off over COVID. Also had knee surgery, but I've got back into it this year, playing in the sort of Masters competition. So my club has entered a team in that competition this year, and that's an over 35s comp, which is it's more social. We only play every second week, and that's been just good to get back into that and played it a bit more on a social basis. And just have a run around every couple of weeks. And it's a really good bunch of blokes as well to play with. So that's been good fun.
So on an average week, how many days do you exercise then?
Look, I try and do something every day. I try. I haven't been able to achieve that as much recently as I would have liked. But whether it's just going out for a bit of a run, I cycle a little bit as well. So tomorrow morning, heading out for a ride with a couple of guys from the MBA. Tom's one, and potentially Ben as well.
Oh, nice.
And a few other guys. So look, try and do something every day. It hasn't worked out as much recently. But on average, maybe recently, so maybe 4 times a week.
That's still quite a lot compared to most people,
Probably, but it's for me. It's important just to stay active. It's good for my mental health and well-being. It really doesn't take too much out of time out of the day. If it's just half an hour, just getting outside, fresh air. That's important for me.
I feel that as well. I feel like once I stop exercising regularly, my mind feels a little bit sluggish as well. Not just the body, but the mind. Do you feel that?
I do. Yeah. I feel, getting up in the morning and doing something before work or before class, I just feel so much better, and it really does set you up for the day. I didn't do anything this morning, and I'm sort of, you get to this point of the day, you're just feeling a bit sluggish.
Do you go for that run, or do you go for that coffee?
Try and do both.
Okay, great. For someone who is planning to do the MBA program full-time but have zero experience in terms of exercise, what advice would you give them?
I think if they want to get into exercise, I think
it's quite important, right?
I feel it is. I mean, everyone's different. Everyone has their own outlets outside of work and study. So, if you're interested in doing something or getting into some sort of program, I think just speak with people and see what they do and just give things a go. Try things out and just find a routine that works for you, because everyone's different. Some people, they're not morning people, so they're getting up at 6 a.m. to do something probably has no interest to them, but they might prefer to do something at night after work or after class. So I think it's just finding what works for you. And there's so many clubs and societies, whether it's at uni or outside of uni, that you can get involved with. So there's plenty of opportunities out there. So it's just really you sort of reaching out and making an effort. And
you live so close to the campus as well that I think you know a few places that are quite good. What would you recommend for those people who are thinking about doing the MBA program here next year? What would you recommend to be like some good options to try out?
So I live in Randwick, which is a very short bus ride from campus here in Kensington. We're pretty lucky here at AGSM to sort of be very close to the beach. Coogee Beach is just down the road. We've got a few surfers in the cohort. So you've got Maroubra, Bondi, Tamarama, not far away.
Spoiled for choice.
Pretty lucky. We've also got Centennial Park. Which is on our doorstep. And for those who are not familiar with the eastern suburbs of Sydney or Sydney generally, that's a massive park, only a few kilometres from the city, and literally probably a kilometre here from campus. And that's my local park, so I often ride or run around there. We've got a Monday morning running group that one of our classmates has set up. So I try and get to that most weeks. But we're pretty lucky to have that on our doorstep here in Sydney. And Sydney's surrounded by national parks as well, which are not too far away. So on the weekends, every now and then when we've got a chance, try and sort of explore those and do a bit of hiking or trail running and things like that. I'd like to do that stuff more often. It's difficult with everything else going on, but Sydney, it's a great city if you like the outdoors.
Okay, perfect. So there's just some tips to keep yourself active. Don't forget to press the subscribe button so that the next video will go straight to your box. Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks, Jane.
See ya.
Cheers.